Okay, so we're actually going to look at the, before we do the three-quarter view, I do need to do the side and the back view. That's what I got to do. So when it comes to the side view, and we're going to use, and I'm going to interchange these with male and female, because I think that that's only fair. Really. I think it's only fair. So if we look at our female character, we can say that if we want to put this in something, we could probably put this in a little box. The head will fit like almost in a square. Because I just want the things there as a placeholder. If we wanted to, we can go from this little corner up here and just go up. And so we would have this little shape right here. The problem that I was seeing running into, and if we go half here, that's going to give us the ear. The problem that I was doing when I was making my shape like this, yes, of course, mine looks fine, but I was seeing a lot of this. So it's like this axe head that I just didn't understand. And so we don't want that. We want that. So from the top here, and this is where, as to not confuse you, but to give you a little bit of insight, if we're trying to keep this with the stick figure is fine for, I believe the stick figure is okay for arms and limbs or arms and legs. But I think for the bigger parts, it's much better to use solids. And here's why. So I have the neck. So if I want to just bring a stick figure, I want to just have this for the neck. But then, so what do we do here? So we can do this to kind of represent the collarbone. That's fine. And the arms are kind of out at their side. They're not really, they're not perfectly at her side. And so technically the hands would be somewhere down here, right? But when you see this in different books or whatever, what you're going to see is either the arms are going to be totally separate like this, because I think that gets more into the 3D modeling kind of a thing. We'll put the hand there like this, and that's another little way to represent the hand. Just this little slight trapezoid, and I got from the bottom here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 little sticks. That's perfectly fine. And so we put like this here. Oh, and that's going to be in the middle. And so this is coming out. So there's a little bit of foreshortening here. We're not going to get into that right now. But how do we do this? Because from the front, it's just a stick, and we were using a rectangle. So from the front, it would have to be like this, but then you would have to change and then go back. Because that's what, if we can make a box, it's actually doing this, right? And the hips are at an angle like this. And so we have like this little skinnier box right here. And this could be a few different shapes. And over here, I'm not attaching the arm. We're not worried about the arm right now. And so if I took this little circle right here, and let's go ahead and zoom out a bit so we can see the full figure. There's a few things that you're going to notice. We can just bring the leg all the way down, and it looks like it's kind of at an angle. And we could make this a little triangle there, but then maybe I'll put another one on the end to show that it's the side view. And I could put my little circle here, and let's take the kneecap and put it right in front of the straight line. A few things about the leg is that it's going from thick to thin, meaning the thighs are larger than your ankles. But if we look over here, we see that this foot is elevated. And it's elevated because this character should be sitting on some sort of plane. Now, if I put a plane right there and look, and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it right now. It's a little bit too much of a perspective right there. Just didn't quite look right. So now this character is standing on something. then that makes a lot more sense. And there's a little bit of an S curve because the top, the thigh right here is curving, and it's representative of the front of the thigh. And you see how the back of the calf is doing like this. And so we can get this little curve, and it looks like an S. It's not all the way like an S like that. When we talk about S curves, we just mean very slight. When we talk about C curves, it's more of an arc. It's more of a slightly bended line is exactly what that is. So it's not a full-on S. It's very subtle. And subtlety is one of the keys that I think is not often talked about, but we're going to discuss the subtlety of different things. And so now we have, from the side view here, we have this box. And so from the neck, if we were to, let's go ahead and switch colors here. And you don't have to worry about trying to follow along with this. This is more or less just to get you into the mindset, because there'll be plenty of stuff for you to practice. So starting from here, and if we curved around, that's the spine right there. And this is the spine when the character has perfect posture, which most people do not have. That is perfect standing posture. And so now you got this perfect standing posture, but the problem with the perfect standing posture is that it doesn't really give you the gesture. And I'm going to talk a bit about gesture, but I think we need to learn some basics before we get into gesture. I know everybody teaches gesture first. I think that's a little confusing, but we will get into that. So with the standing perfect posture, when you're trying to do the 3/4 view, you're also trying to do the posture, and then you get this kind of weird thing because you're trying to do this, and then you're trying to attach your chest like this, and then you're trying to make sure that everything kind of sticks out, but then you're trying to shut the head out, and it's forced a little bit too much that way, and then you're trying to make this curve here, and it can work, but sometimes that can get confusing. So what we need is a few different ways of figuring all of this stuff out. The side view is going to show us that there is a curve to the spine, but the spine itself. So I'm going to use, so if by this and here, right there, so we got our spine right here, but our spine can also do this. Our spine can bend like this, right? And our spine can also bend back the other way. And depending so your spine, where you can have a character, this is hard to draw upside down, by the way. I don't even know, why don't I just turn the page? I don't know. And so you can also bend back this way, right? So don't get too hung up on that S curve, because that S curve is all relative. That S curve goes away. There's nothing like this maybe as the S curve. If that becomes your style and you're very stylized with it, but also we can bend from side to side. So you can bend all the way to this side, right? We can bend from side to side. We can also twist. The figure can twist without a doubt. So the figure can twist. And this is just a slight twist, right? And I'm using these triangles here. We can use triangles as well. And so your figure can twist, and we can do a bunch of different things here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Let's see, is that? Oh, okay. So we're going to take a look at the back. And I'm going to look at a few things from the back. But I don't want you to get hung up too much on this S curve or trying to make your figures, because what's eventually going to happen is you start making these figures that look like this, and then you're trying to overcompensate with the back part of it, and your figures start to look like this. And that's not what we're looking for. If we look at the chin and see that the chin is kind of hitting maybe just off of the chest when the head is straight. But we're going to see we're going to analyze this from the point of an actual 3D figure and see what happens there. All right, so we're going to now go do the back, and I will see you in the next video.